there is a very good chance that the project you are currently working on is going to be delayed. Not because you can't code, I think you can, but because you are drowning in scope. You're trying to build a real world where every drawer opens and every building is a bathroom. This is what we all used to do when we were younger. But experienced game developers build houses like these that you see in the picture right now. Is it perfect? I don't think so. It's a cardboard box made up by sticks, and you should too. This is exactly how you finish your game. In this video, we are going to discuss 3 ways, which is going to help you to finish your game faster. Let's start by seeing how you can stop being an architect and start being a director. We are going to learn specific tricks studios use to fake their massive worlds so that you can turn that 5-year nightmare that you've been building, trying to finish that game and, actually end up selling millions, right? I mean, that's the dream that we all have, isn't it? In this section, we are going to talk about the GTLI. Let's start with the Grand Theft Auto fantasy. When you play GTA, it feels like a living city, right? You think, man, look at all this stuff. I can go anywhere, I can do anything, right? And I can enter any building. But that's mostly a magic trick. GTA really isn't a city. It's basically just a wide, very expensive hallway. Like 90% of all those skyscrapers, that you see, they're just painted boxes. You can't even go inside. The doors are fake, the windows are fake, right? The windows are just textures over there. Think of it like a hamster in one of those plastic tubes, right, that you see. The hamster thinks that he's exploring the jungle because the tube twists and turns. He's having the time of his life. But he's really just running in a straight line. I wish someone, told this to me even very early in my career and I made the same mistakes. I remember working in a team which was building this massive RPG. Man, we spent 3 months modeling one village. Then we did the tavern, the blacksmith. We were modeling inside the bedrooms. In fact, a few of our artists were literally, modeling individual apples in the fruit baskets. 3 months, one village. But we needed 10 villages to finish the game. So we did the math and realized that we won't be able to finish the game by the launch date and it's going to be massively delayed. That realization helped us pivot the course and make changes. Helped us actually finish the game with only a little bit of delay. And you know what is the most painful part in all of this? Even if you done all that work, right, all that effort, the player won't actually notice a difference. So the question is, how do we fill a world without spending 5 years making fruit baskets? Introducing the Lego method. While building a city, you would probably think that you need to make like 100 different buildings, right? Well, good news, you don't. You really only need 3 things: a wall, a window, and a roof, and a few others, right? We call this the Lego method. If I stack them up, it's a wizard tower. But if I put them side by side, now it looks like a warehouse. So even if it doesn't really matter if you're building Unity or Unreal, right? The technical term is modular assets. But really at the end of the day, it's just Legos, you're just putting pieces together. And this is exactly how they built Skyrim. Do you think they sat there sculpting 500 different rocks for every cave? No way. They made one rock, one good rock, just a few more. And then they rotated it, scaled it up, shoved it in the ground. You must be thinking, and I used to think the same way, won't that look lazy? Like, won't it look repetitive? My players are going to notice that and they are going to absolutely burn me in the reviews, right? Not if you do it the right way. It's all about the lighting. If you flip a rock upside down and hide it in the shadow, it would look like a new asset. Your players aren't looking at the geometry, they are looking at the light. The lighting of things and how they actually appear. So stop trying to make art. Start thinking from a Lego perspective. Now let's talk about the fog, one of the oldest and coolest tricks in game development. So now you have got your movie set built, but what happens when the player walks to the edge of the map? Do you build more world? If you do, then again it's going to take forever, right? To complete your world. This is what you do. You just pull the curtain down. Back in the day when PlayStation 1 was in the peaks of things, it wasn't strong enough to render a whole city. That's where the Silent Hill did something which was kind of genius back then. They just covered the whole town in this thick, scary fog. and everyone loved it. They were like, wow, the art direction is so moody, right? But it wasn't just art, it was a trick, right? The fog was there just to hide the fact that the world literally didn't exist 10 feet away. Nowadays we call this LOD or skyboxes, but the logic is the same. The camera can't see it, so don't build it. So look, we have covered a lot. Stop stressing about the scale of the game. You don't need a Rockstar budget, right? You just need to be a little smarter than them. Here is what we can do right now, to make it count for us. Open up a project plan. Find the plan to build a building that the player is never actually going to enter. Look for the interior, look for the furniture, look for the back wall. Delete them all. Delete everything that the player doesn't see, or find a way to hide them. You don't really need to create this. Make it a cardboard cutout. Seriously, if you do this, you just saved yourself a week of work, or maybe even more. So we have covered a lot in this video about how we are going to build bigger games more efficiently. But if you think finishing game is hard, wait until you see how most of the developers, accidentally destroy their sales. So in the next video, we are going to finally talk about money. I'm going to show you why pricing your game at $10 is actually insulting your players and how it's costing your sales. So subscribe if you don't want to miss out on that, and I promise I'll come soon with this. Till then, happy building and see ya.